This is the Matrix Axess from Adria. It's one of 4 models in the Matrix range, and this is the smallest of all 4. As you can see, it's a really strange shape from this angle. It's almost cube shaped. In fact, it looks as though there's really not very much room inside at all. But I think you'll be surprised. What about the outside though? Well, you don't often see a garage in a motorhome this small, and perhaps garage is a bit of an exaggeration. You might get a couple of children's bikes in there, but even so, this is a really decent sized space for a small motorhome. Now then, Adria refer to this as being a crossover, and what they mean is that it's a kind of a combination of a coach-built motorhome and a low-profile motorhome. And from the outside, as I say, it looks a bit odd, but side on, well, it still looks odd. Anyway, what's in here? Nothing at the moment, but there's space for 2 big gas bottles, and big gas bottles, like big batteries, as far as I'm concerned, is always good. Let's go around this side. Gotcha! Right now, on this side, there's not an awful lot to see. There's a big tinted window. But look at this. There are 2 vents, Dometic, which means they're for a fridge. But there's 2 of them, and they're widely separated. And they're big as well. What's that about? There's only one way to find out. We need to go inside. This is the M590 SG Matrix motorhome. The SG, well, it could stand for Slovenia's gorgeous, which it is, but more likely it stands for side garage. The 590 refers to the length of the motorhome. It's actually 599 centimetres. What can you put in a motorhome that's less than 6 metres long? Well, for a start, you can put a really nice kitchen area. Look at it, loads of space here for preparation, a nice 3-burner hob, all gas, and a really excellent sink. Well, I personally love vegetables, and to prepare vegetables properly, you need a good sink like this. Now then, there's one thing missing in this kitchen, as you will see straight away. What is it? It's an oven. I'll come back to that in just a second. There is, however, a microwave oven right here. This comes as standard. That's a really nice looking microwave. It's a decent size and it's easy to get to, but of course there isn't a proper oven. However, if you talk nicely to your Adria dealer, I'm assured that they will be able to install a proper oven right here behind this door, and that would be just about perfect. Now then, outside we saw those big 2 vents for the fridge, and you need them because this is the fridge. For a small motorhome, this is absolutely gigantic. Look at it. It's from Dometic, and it's got one of these very clever removable freezer compartments. If you want a freezer, there it is. If you don't want it, it just slides out and you've got plenty of room there for more food. This really is spectacular in a motorhome of this size. If you've got a modern motorhome, you're going to have modern stuff in it, like this. That's a modern control panel. Everything's controlled from here. The lights, the water pump, awning light, and you can even see what voltage the batteries have got in them as well. That needs charging. When you don't want the control panel, you simply press a button and turn it off. What about the bathroom? Hey, talking about modern, this is really modern. It's also very spacious. One of the biggest problems we have on the Motorhome channel is showing you a bathroom because they're so small. But this isn't. It's got plenty of headroom. It's very light. It's very just plain, but it's got everything you need except it hasn't got a sink. Oh yes, it has. It's here. Isn't that nice? What a really good shaped sink. And it hasn't got any storage space. Oh yes, it has. And there it is. Look, 3 good sized shelves to keep everything you need to keep yourself looking squeaky clean. It's a really nice bathroom. What about the seating area? Here we are. This is a 4-berth motorhome, and there are 4 belted seating positions, 2 in the front and 2 right here. These 2 front seats swivel round, and you've got a really spacious table. This is a big table. It's got a separate leaf under here that swivels round, and there's plenty of sitting space on this bench seat. Now the only problem I've got here is height, but Adria have thought of this. They've made this little hole so I can stand in it and quite easily walk around with plenty of headroom. Actually, I'm just kidding. This is another bed. Look at that, a really spacious bed. It looks really nice. It's got some lights up there. It's got a good view of the sky. I think it's time for a snooze. No, it isn't. It's time for a drive. Well, the Axess is based on a Fiat Ducato chassis. It's got the Euro 5 engine, which is a 2.3 litre, 130 brake horsepower model. We're not loaded, of course, and so it's very light and it's quite nimble. But the lightness actually is very noticeable in the steering. Just the slightest fingertip touch and we're veering off course. I think that would change once we had some stuff on board, but right now it's so light. It's good, but it's a little bit disconcerting if you're not used to it. It's very nippy, and because it's less than 6 metres long, on this country lane, it's not giving me any pause for thought when I come to a corner or when I see a tree encroaching upon the road. But £42,000, well, 42,578 to be precise. Imagine, an awful lot of panel vans cost substantially more money. I reckon it's a really competitively priced motorhome. So we've had a good look round this motorhome and we've been for a nice drive in some very scenic countryside. And now I've bagged myself a caravan. Come on, John, this way, mate. It's all right, in you go, you'll be okay. Don't, careful. Oh dear. Right now, John, you've got a 1998 Swift Conqueror. This is a motorhome. What do you reckon?
Well, it's a similar size to mine. It's got a lot more in it. Fixed bed.
Double bed up there.
Yeah.
Look at this.
The kitchen's not
How
as
does
good,
the kitchen compare?
but
Not as good. All right, well, if that wasn't enough, how does this compare?
well, that's pretty impressive, isn't it? I think I could live with that.
Right, so what I want to know is there any way I can convert you from caravanning to motorhoming?
Well, it certainly made me think.
Food for thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've got a possible convert. I'm convinced this is really a spectacular motorhome. It's only small, but it's absolutely perfectly formed, and it's a very good price as well.